I'm really excited to talk about today's topic. We are going to be talking about something that I get a lot of questions about, so I wanted to dive into it. So today, we are going to be talking about one of, I think, the big downsides to having all of the time freedom when it comes to having your own business. That's something that a lot of people report that they want, like one of their big goals, owning their own business, is to have financial freedom, time freedom, and specifically for, people like me who are healthcare providers, we also want clinical freedom. And so the second part of that, the freedoms, time freedom obviously has like a ton of pros to it. I will always love the fact that since I've been working for myself full-time now for 3 years at the time that I'm recording this video, I can take time off whenever I want. I don't have to submit for time off to go see my family for the holidays, or to take time off for my birthday week or whatever. As long as I plan for it, I can take time off whenever, wherever I please. And the disclaimer of that is that as long as the work is getting done in the business, not only can you take time off whenever you want, but you can also use your time to do with it, however you want to spend it, I guess, whether it's more time with your family or, I know for me, I've been spending a lot more time in the gym the past year or so. So being able to structure my business around those things that are the most important to me, is huge, like a huge positive. But the downside that I want to talk about, and I know this is something that I've definitely struggled with a lot, as I've been trying to figure out what is going to work best for me, is the fact that when you are working full-time for yourself, and even if you're working part-time for yourself, if you don't have a structure around doing things for your business, and taking steps every day to move the business forward, if you don't create a structure, it can be really difficult to continue to get things done. And the lens that I want to look at this through is, it's based on my own experience and what I've seen work for other business owners. But my tiny personal thing, my therapist diagnosed me last year with ADHD. So I have been looking a lot over the past year for just different tips and tools and tricks to help me succeed with getting things done. I want to put this out there. Give this video a like, give it a thumbs up if that would be of interest to you, whether you're somebody who has ADHD or difficulty with time management, task management, and just struggling a lot with feeling overwhelmed with everything that needs to get done. I was thinking about putting this together in a series. So if that's something you're interested in, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll definitely add more to it. What can happen, I think, when you're working for yourself is that you don't have structure because you're the boss who needs to provide the structure. So you have a huge blank slate. And if you don't make that structure, it's really difficult to move forward and take strides every day, every week, every month to keep moving yourself forward. So I think one of the most basic things when it comes to starting to create structure for yourself as you're working for yourself is your schedule. I think that's one of the simplest places to start, and we can always get into other time and task management stuff from there. I wrote up a little bit, some notes that I wanted to share to just give a little bit more background. Working for yourself full-time, as we talked about, can offer incredible time freedom and flexibility, but it can also present a lot of challenges in terms of creating structure. Without external accountability, of a job or an employer and the structure provided by that traditional work environment, it can be easy to get overwhelmed or distracted. And additionally, when you are solely responsible for managing your own time and tasks, it can be challenging to prioritize and stay organized. Finding the right balance between flexibility and structure is crucial to maintaining productivity and success as a self-employed business owner. It requires self-discipline and effective time management skills to establish a routine and stick to it. Without clear boundaries and a structured schedule. Boundaries is like a topic for a whole other video, but starts with scheduling. It can be easy to succumb to distractions, procrastination, and a lack of focus. It can also be difficult to set realistic goals and manage your workload effectively when you don't have the guidance or the structure provided by a supervisor or manager, when you are the one who's supposed to be managing themselves. Therefore, it's important for self-employed individuals to develop strategies and systems to create their own structures, such as setting daily or weekly goals, establishing a dedicated workspace, like what you see behind me, and implementing time blocking techniques, which I think is a little bit more of an advanced scheduling skill, but we'll touch on it a little bit in this video. And by finding the balance between flexibility and structure, self-employed individuals can enhance their productivity, maintain a healthy work-life balance, and achieve long-term success. So in this video, we are going to talk through some of my top tips for creating a schedule that's flexible and provides the structure that you need to succeed. This is based on what I am currently doing. It's something that has been it's probably led itself to my most balanced, like work-life balance situation. So stick with me through it. And let me know in the comments below whether this resonates. It doesn't, if it's something that you do already or something similar. So this is going to be a 3-step process, and this is kind of like taking it back to basics. Like I said, there are definitely like more advanced aspects to this, but I want to try to make it as simple as possible. So, it's definitely not super overwhelming. So the first part of this process is we need to figure out what you want to use your time to do. So, let's say, and I'll kind of cover a little bit with like part-time if you're starting to work for yourself part-time, but let's say, you kicked the job to the curb and you are planning to work for yourself full-time. So your calendar is just completely blank. There's nothing on it. I think instead of like diving right into the calendar, it can be really good to just make like a bulleted list of what you want to spend your time doing. And I would look at it, I'd probably start on a like weekly basis, what you want your typical week to look like, and write it out, just a numbered list of what you want to do. That will definitely help versus just kind of like leaving it to whatever. Some people can function okay with that kind of schedule. I don't think it is conducive to my brain in the way that I do things. So the first thing that we need to do is write out a list of what do I want to spend my time doing. And we're going to look at it on basically like a daily and weekly basis. So for me, when I write out a list, I wrote a list out on the screen behind you on the camera, behind the camera on the screen. For me, like the list of things that I want to do in kind of priority order is number 1, workouts. I have a lot of like physical fitness gym goals that I am working on. So that is right up at the top. I want to make sure that I get my workouts in. So that needs to get scheduled into my week first. And then number 2 is lunch breaks. That was something that was really crazy. A couple of years ago, I just didn't schedule lunch breaks. It was something that was kind of like an afterthought. So like some days I wouldn't eat lunch until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is late for me typically. And then finally, like my husband was like, well, why don't you just put it on your calendar? And I was like, duh. So number 2 is lunch breaks. And for my workout schedule, in my lunch breaks, those are basically the same times on the same days every single week. So they're just set to be repeating events in my calendar. The number 3 thing on this list of what I want in my week are off days. So I want to have, right now it's 2 days where I'm completely off work. And that means, this will be in the boundaries video, no checking work email, anything work related that's like not really urgent, don't respond. I'm out of the office, so I don't even really come in here unless I'm going to be playing video games. Just completely off days. And those are also repeating on the calendar, just totally off. Number 4 thing that I put is my theme days. So I have these memorized now myself, but when I first started this, I would put it in the calendar so that I would start to remember the pattern. But I have theme days, and the 2 main categories for these are essentially like client facing and non-client facing days. So I have on my schedule Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday are typically client-facing days, at least at the time I'm recording this video. It might change in the future, but I have 3 days a week where I will accept appointments and meetings, and that's it. And then Sunday and Tuesday are non-client-facing days. So they are work days, but I do not accept client appointments or meetings with people, like, professional connections. Unless something crazy happens and I have to, I really try to keep all of my meetings on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then all of my like heavy duty admin stuff happens on Sunday and Tuesday. This works really well for me because I feel like when I am in like client facing mode, whether I am treating or working with my business coaching clients, my brain is very much in the mode of just like coaching, helping, talking to people. And I don't have to switch back and forth throughout the day between like the type of tasks that I'm doing. And then like on my non-client facing days or admin days, I can get really in the zone of not talking to anybody, and just like doing work with myself. And it also, my brain stays much more focused doing that as well. So highly recommend having theme days like that. Yours might look a little bit different, or might be a little bit more specific, but that's what I have found to be helpful, is basically like throughout the whole week, I'm either on or I'm off. And then if I'm on, I'm either working with clients all day or doing like non-client work all day. It keeps things simple. And also makes it easier for me to schedule tasks, which we'll get to a little bit later on. The number 5 thing to use your time to do during the week is maintenance activities. So this could be, totally specific to you, but this could be housework, errands, groceries, nails, personal time, like if you want to schedule time to just do whatever you want to do for yourself. I've been crocheting a lot, so I might put that on my calendar. But just anything that you want to do in order to maintain yourself, maintain your environment, maintain your relationships. If you want to schedule time with your spouse, your family, your friends, maintenance-y things, you can put that on the calendar. And then number 6 is don't forget to schedule breaks. In general, when it comes to like scheduling events on my calendar, I will almost always put a 15-minute break in between each event. And I'll show you what that looks like. And something that also really started to help me a lot was putting in my calendar my drive time. So it takes me about 15 minutes to get to the gym, give or take. But on either side of like when I'm planning to be at the gym for an hour, I put like a half hour of drive time. And what that has really helped me with is not getting like stressed out about getting there on time. And usually it also gives me a little bit of extra time to warm up before the class starts, as well as cooling down and stretching after. So if like those like little things are already built into your schedule, then it just makes it a lot less stressful. So I always give myself a little bit of extra time between events, between tasks, and then we're cool as a cucumber all day. So it can be breaks in between calendar events like that. It can also be naps, which I have put on my schedule, and I think I need to add in again for like my client facing days that I have right now. I'm pretty booked. So like the days are really long, so I might start adding in like a midday nap break where I might actually go to sleep, I might not. But at least it gives me time to like take a break and have some downtime so that I'm not exhausted by the end of the day. Or like scheduled playtime, where maybe you play on your phone, you play video games, just do something like totally not business related. Other people will actually put like their housework like into those break times. So, it's again, just not work stuff to do, but breaks are good. So all together, again, just to kind of list out, at least these are the things that I put in. Your list might look a little bit different, but workouts, lunch breaks, off days, theme days, maintenance activities, and breaks. So that is all step number 1. Step number 2, once you've kind of figured that out and put that into your calendar, you're going to figure out when you want to see clients or do work things. So I kind of already talked about this, but just to kind of reiterate, if you have a service-based business or if you have meetings in your business, I would suggest coming up with a set number of appointments you'd like to take per week or per day, plus which days of the week you are available for these appointments and meetings. And it's going to feel silly at first. If you're first getting started, starting from scratch, your calendar is totally blank, you don't have any clients yet, or maybe it's like 1 or 2, it's going to feel kind of silly to put these, boundaries and kind of like strict structure in place, and it'll feel weird to tell people, I only take clients on Tuesdays and Thursdays when you're literally available 7 days a week. The earlier that you start doing this, the more time you're going to have to practice like having boundaries, which is always good. And you're also going to be setting up the structure for later on when you have dozens of clients to see, and you also still have to, do all of your personal maintenance stuff, but, business maintenance stuff as well. And if you let things go to chaos, then you're going to end up letting a lot of stuff fall on the back burner. It's never going to get done. You're going to be always overwhelmed and stressed out. Take it from me, as someone who has done that several times, just like put these things in place and your life with your business is going to be much more pleasant. And for personal appointments, like the dentist or the doctor, usually what I like to try to do is schedule them on my off days or on my admin / non-client facing days. So then I also don't have to like stress about like hurrying to get there. And then what if like my doctor is an hour late and then all the appointments I have after that like get all like screwy and everything. I've gone through that a few times where I end up getting so much more stressed out. And it's just not a good time. Take it from me, just some advice, and from a brain with ADHD. Some of these things, that have caused me a lot of overwhelm. These are all like recommendations based off of what I've found to decrease that overwhelm and decrease your stress. So let's take a look here quickly before we get into part number 3 of this process. I wanted to actually show you an example with an actual calendar of what it might look like. So hopefully you can see that okay. I can always like make a picture of it too if it doesn't come out very well. Let's take a look at a blank calendar. I use Google Calendar for everything. I know a lot of people do. If you use like paper calendar, this could still totally work, but just for the sake of this video, this is what we'll use. So let's go back to step 1 actually, and just kind of go through, after we made the list of what do you actually want to spend your time doing, and we plug it into the calendar. So let's say that I want to work out every day, like Monday to Friday from 8 to 9. I set it to repeat every weekday. And then, like I said, like something that was helpful was I'll put like drive time in here. I also like to use the colors here to just kind of show me like, usually like I'll put like off time or drive time in gray. It like makes sense in my brain that it's, it's not really like an appointment, but it's like, here's the time that you should leave by, or this is just like time that can't be scheduled over, that kind of a thing. And then let's say we want to have lunch from 12 to 1. So we'll do the same thing here and add this in. I think something that you can do with Google Calendar, let me see. You might be able to set it to not show you the weekends. I can't remember if that was a different program, but you might be able to choose the days that you see here, or at the very least, like you can definitely choose the start day for your week between, I think it's like Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So if you want your week to start on Monday so that you can set like Saturday and Sunday to be off, then like that's kind of nice to be able to have that like visual or lack thereof. And then speaking of off days, let's put this in. Actually, I'll start over here. Put off, and you can do off, you can do like out of office, you might see up here as well if you have the workspace account. But we'll set this to repeat on Sunday and Saturday. Set this to like 10:30 p.m. and we'll make both of these gray, like I was talking about too. So that's off. And then theme days. So let's say you want to see clients on. So here's another kind of little thing that maybe this would be worth talking about in another video. Energy balance and like kind of your energy budget for the week is something that really it resonates a lot with me and works really well. I know for myself that like Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, those are the days when I have the highest amount of energy, tapers off the rest of the week. So if there are like tasks that require a lot of brain power, a lot of concentration and focus, I do not want to schedule them most of the time on a Thursday or a Friday. Typically I'm off on Fridays anyway, but I also don't see clients on Fridays because I'm just like, I'm going to be checked out. I'll have used all of my energy by then. And so I tend to like, I guess like front load my work schedule in the week and get as much as I can done then. So then like the easier tasks fall towards the end of the week, or like I see a lot of clients on Wednesdays and Thursdays and that becomes like the only task rather than also like trying to like come home and do more computer work and things like that. So that's something that can be helpful. So let's say, maybe for you, like Monday and Wednesday are admin days potentially. Actually, let's say maybe we start work at like 1 and we do like 1 to 6 admin and then 1 to 6 admin here. Maybe you're somebody who comes home from the gym like I do and you walk your dog, you eat second breakfast or have an early lunch, take a shower, kind of see what's what for the day. Maybe you do other stuff in the morning. So maybe you are just going to be doing work and doing admin stuff in the afternoon, which is totally fine. Just because you have all day to work, it doesn't mean that you have to work all day. And I think that's something that like I've really had to kind of get past because like, in a traditional work setting, you have work basically the entire day, really whether you're doing anything or not. But for us, we can choose to like compartmentalize the time and have like focus time from 1 to 6, or you could do like two 2.5 hour blocks if you wanted. So maybe you work and do like 2.5 hours here, take a break in the midday for lunch, take a nap like I do sometimes, and then go back to work afterwards. But either way, we'll put it on your schedule. So we have like admin days here. Then we'll have like patient days, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And so you can actually put that at the top of the calendar for all day if you want. That's something that I've done. And then I'll just set it to be on these days as well. So I can see like whenever I'm going to schedule somebody or somebody asks to see me, I can pull up my calendar and right away look and see like, okay, I can only schedule Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or whatever it is. So having this like visual cue here is helpful for that. But we have our theme days now. So let's, we'll call it like admin, and then the patients. And let's see, like maintenance activities, personal time, maybe it looks something like, okay, I get groceries on Monday night, do my nails Wednesday night, something like that. Or, on Fridays, maybe it's like, okay, like friends hangout time. So now it's in the calendar and good to go. And you can set those to repeat every week as well. And then break time. So maybe you want to take your nap before lunch or something like that. So now we have like kind of boundaries within our calendar events. And with all the white space that is remaining, that's what we can utilize then for our work time. Within reason, depending on how much you want to work, what your capacity is, you're probably not going to fill up every single spot here, you'll probably want to stop work at some point. And that could be something good to do, like maybe just giving yourself like a 6 p.m. cutoff time, and that's the end of your workday. That's kind of up to you, and you could kind of figure things out with that as you go. But we have in here when to see clients and everything, when we're going to do work things. And then the last piece here, and the last tip of this three-step process is using your calendar as the task list. So we've all used plenty of task lists, right? Like we'll write stuff down on Post-it notes, on notebook paper, in a planner, on our phone, and the notes, and it's just like this really long list of tasks to complete. And what I have found is like the most like balanced way, I guess, to get things done throughout the week is to use your calendar as the actual task list. I always think that I can get a lot more done in the day or in the week than I actually can. So putting tasks on a calendar and assigning them an estimated amount of time helps to keep things more tangible to me and helps me set realistic expectations for myself during the week instead of saying like, okay, I have 20 tasks to complete every single day. That's not really realistic time-wise, but definitely energy-wise. And so by putting the tasks on the calendar, giving them an estimated amount of time to complete, and then you can keep within your bounds and within your capacity. And another kind of thing that'll happen is when I have an entire day free to work on things. So if we look at Tuesday here with all of that white space, and I don't put my tasks on there, I will think that I have all the time in the world to finish things. And I will look at my giant task list and get immediately super overwhelmed, don't know where to start, don't know what to prioritize, and then I just end up laying down and I don't know what to do. And then nothing gets done. Or even if I do end up actually starting, what I'll find is that even if I've been working for 8 hours straight, at the end of the day, if I'm just operating off of a task list and not from my calendar, I will finish the day with a feeling of not doing enough. And this zero sense of accomplishment, of course, is then not good for my mental health and can impact other aspects of my life. I'll then end up thinking about all of the tasks and business things nonstop throughout the rest of the night, even though I'm technically out of the office for the day, past our 6 p.m. cutoff. My brain never gets a break. But then when I assign the tasks to days with time estimates, it gives me a realistic idea of how much I can get done, and I have a firmer grip on what my capacity is for how much I can handle. I go through my day with the tasks in the calendar and follow that task list on the calendar as I'm scheduled to do certain tasks. And by the end of the day, I end up feeling a much bigger sense of accomplishment because I completed what I set out to do. It's very intentional about my time that day. If I didn't finish everything, I can just move that calendar event to another day in the week where I see time available. And a key with putting tasks on your calendar, though, is that they need to be specific. For me, I can't just put a block on here that says housework, because I don't know what that means. So I will get to 4:45 on Friday and it says housework. There's everything that I could possibly do. But if I change it to something like empty the dishwasher, which also really only will take me 15 minutes, that's much less overwhelming, and the barrier to entry is a lot lower for me. So it's easier to actually do. But if there are tasks that I'm dreading or don't want to do, this is a pro tip for how to trick yourself. Is I will give myself to do it by offering myself rewards for doing it. So for example, when it comes to something like emptying the dishwasher, I will phrase it in my head as, okay, great. Now I am going to listen to my favorite podcast, while I empty the dishwasher. So that's the main task is listening to my podcast, and then I do this other thing versus I need to empty the dishwasher and I guess I'll listen to something. So I kind of prioritize the thing that I want in the way that I'm telling myself to do a task. And that's helpful. Or like when I have to come and sit down and do business stuff, I like to make myself a fun little drink. So whether it's like a protein shake or coffee or tea or something like that, if I tell myself that I get to have that little thing first or while I'm doing the task, it makes it much more pleasurable of an experience, and I'll actually do it. So let's say that we have some tasks to do. We'll say for like these admin blocks here, these are things that you're really going to want to specify what you're going to do. So let's add like documentation, programming, let's see, maybe like setting the month's budget, things like that. Or maybe you want to spend an hour on Wednesdays responding to all of your emails. So that's how you start to put tasks in. And like I said, like let's say I get through, most of Wednesday and I actually didn't get to respond to the emails, I can move it to the following day and see, that there's actually time for me to get things done. That's the main thing with this, is when you put your tasks on your calendar, you give yourself the time to do them rather than looking at like a giant block of white space and trying to cram as many things in there as you possibly can. So this, like I said, I think it's just kind of like a little bit of an introduction to like starting with time management and like starting to give yourself structure around your business. But I hope that helps, and hopefully we can do a little bit more on this. Like I said, give this a thumbs up if it's something that you're interested in talking more about and just giving yourself structure as a business owner. And we can also definitely do examples of, if you're doing this part-time too, because I know that that's something that's come up for some people. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And we'll keep going from there. So I'll see you on the next one.